Okay, now we're going to take the login.php script that we completed in step 5, and we're going to change it so that it connects to the database. Right now we set it equal to some fixed values. So here my username is always Sean, my password is always secret, but I want to change it so that it goes to the database and gets that information out of there. So let's start by making sure our database is running. So I'm going to go to Start and type in the word XAMPP, X-A-M-P-P, open up my XAMPP control panel and make sure that my services are started. And here I see that Apache is not started. Start that. And then I'm going to start MySQL, make sure that's started. Okay, so that's all started. Now you'll notice that on the XAMPP control panel, right next to the Stop button, there's an Admin button, and I want to click on that for the MySQL server so that I can see my database setup. And this database setup was set up in our first video, and now I want to log into it. Now I've changed the password since then. My username is still root, but I changed my password to secret. I changed my password to secret password. So secret password, okay. Now I'm in the database and I can take a look at my databases that I've created, and most of these are all system databases, but I do see that I've created a database called members, and it has a table called members, and I can see I have 5 different rows: ID, first name, last name, password, and email. So I'm going to want to check these or use these to get the username. I've got 2 users in here. One has an email of sean.worthington@gmail.com and a password of password5. So I'm going to try to log in as that user during this video. Okay. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to bring in our $con value that we created in our dbc.php page. So here we created a dbc PHP page. We've set echo connected successfully. We're going to go to the dbc.php page and comment that out. From now on, if it's successful, we'll see data. So I'll comment that out and save it. And now I want to include this page into my document, so I'm going to go to my login PHP, and up here on top I'm going to type in include, and then within quotation marks dbc.php. That's my database connection page, and a semicolon. Okay, so now that'll give me the connection object. The next thing I want to do is I want to create some SQL. So this is the SQL standard query language. This is the language that we use to get into databases. And so I'm going to do a $SQL, that's my variable, and it's going to hold my SQL in these literal quotation marks. Now I'm going to do a select statement, so I'm going to figure out what the username is, and I'm going to select the password that goes along with that username, and then I'm going to compare them. So my select statement is going to be select, and then I want to select from a database. I'm sorry, not a database, but my columns, and I want to select the password or the value that's in the password column. So I'm going to say select password. I'm going to put this on the next lines from members where the email is equal to, and then I'm going to put some half quotes here, and the email is going to be equal to the username variable. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that here. I'm going to go to my members table and select the password from the row in which the email is equal to the username that was provided. Alright. Now that I've got that SQL, I'm going to echo that SQL out, and the reason I'm going to echo it out is so that I can troubleshoot it and make sure it works. So I'm typing echo $SQL, and then I'm going to do a die command. This is just temporary while I'm doing the troubleshooting, making sure this SQL is going to work. So I go echo SQL, and then I'm calling on the script to die. I'll save that, and now if I go to my login.html page, I can try this out and see what it's going to look like. So I'll try to do a good login. I'm going to type in localhost /login.html. And I'm sorry, I called that index.html earlier. So here's my login page. I'll put my username, which is the same thing as my email, sean.worthington@gmail.com, and my password is password5. Go ahead and hit login, and what it does is it shows me the SQL statement that is going to be sent to the database. Now this is good because I want to actually test this to make sure that it works in the database. And so to test it, I'm going to highlight it, hit Control C to copy it into cache. Then I'll bring my database over here, and what I want to do is I want to look for the SQL tab, and here it is right here. Click on that, and then I just paste over the select statement. So I'll Control V, and I'm going to see if this actually works. I'm going to hit go, and it comes back and it says that the number of rows, well, it says, here it is. It says password 5. So it returned the password for sean.worthington@gmail.com. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. And now that it's done that, I can actually go on to the next step, which I'll do in the next video.